Recording now. Want to just get started?
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the Monkey Bar again. I think this is episode 48, so we're getting close to 50 at this point.
On 54, we have to talk about Godzilla again.
Yeah, that, like you said, that was a reference to something.
1954 is when Godzilla came out in Japan.
Right. Yeah, we got not much to talk about. Like usually, it's either like a couple hours before we start recording, or like in some cases the day before, where like you'll message me or I'll message you, and like, what are we gonna talk about? And today I was just like, oh shit, I'm like had no idea, but eventually I was able to think of a few things. One was that recently I just started reading the classic Spider-Man series. I started Comixology Unlimited. There's a free trial of that I have. So I started the Marvel Masterworks collection.
How is it?
It's good. So it goes from Amazing Fantasy number 15 through Amazing Spider-Man number 20 or so. I don't know if it's like 300 pages, so it goes through a fair chunk of the early stuff. Might be the original Steve Ditko run, because I think he stopped doing it after, number 17 or so. I don't know.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds right to me too, which is why I say it, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's aged really well.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the more simplistic stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like in the early comics, they definitely cram a lot of that story into there with all the narration boxes and all the words. It works for the time. It's a little bit dated now. Now that
we got 30 pages into an issue. No, 15.
I think it's averages 20 for an issue.
We got 20 pages of 20 pages to capture a flying bald guy.
Uh-huh. And I think that in the Ultimate Spider-Man, it takes like 2 issues for Uncle Ben to get murdered, and then like the classic Spider-Man, it takes just like he dies in like the 10th page.
God, R.I.P. Uncle Ben.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Okay, I want to do a comic where he got bit by the spider when he took Ben and Parker got killed.
Uh-huh. And the Masterworks collection starts with a foreword by Stan Lee, which of course anybody would admits to tearing up whenever like there's an introduction or something written by Stan Lee, and anybody who says they don't is a fucking liar. But it was written in 1987, so it was like only 20 years after the original Amazing Fantasy came out, and one thing that I always take note of when Stan delivers one of his soapboxes, or even or an introduction, or even when he talks, he's always the showman. Like he's really good at being the salesperson of this is the greatest comic ever.
I know that's his talent. He was genuinely excited.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think I miss in comics, is the excitement.
Mm-hmm. What was that thing you said where it used to be just like 4 or 5 guys?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 guys going, let's have a fucking Russian in a rhino suit fight a man who can swing webs.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's about 15, 16 guys as the fucking CEO going, now, marketing, shoot.
And it's like you got all this backstory that you have to remain loyal to. But back then it was just it was all new. Like even the concept of a superhero was relatively raw and unchallenged. Where it's you could basically do anything with a superhero.
Look at Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Spawn. Look at Spider-Man. Different breeds of animal.
Yeah. When another example of when Spawn was first released, when they first started making, when Todd McFarlane first started writing Spawn, I think the 4th issue, it was this huge satirical take on creator-owned comics being sent to hell, and or something like that.
I know. I fucking love Spawn so much. He's gonna be in Mortal Kombat 11. I'm still fucking excited.
Mm-hmm. And he was in Soul Calibur, right?
He was. I didn't have an Xbox, so I never got to play Spawn, but he did have his own somewhat shitty games. Almost every Spawn game kind of sucked, but that was okay.
Mm-hmm. Aren't they doing another movie?
I hope so.
I think I heard that they were doing something.
Can I tell you what my pitch would be? The first, you don't advertise this Spawn, but the first 15 minutes, it's like a cop drama, and then Sam and Twitch come in there. And then you have fucking Spawn.
Mm-hmm. I could see it working not exactly the first 15 minutes, but like give it like 5 minutes, kind of like the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Or-
For real?
Yeah, like the Dark Knight, it builds up to the Joker reveal.
Oh, I
for,
thought you meant like the Dark Knight when it was first released wasn't called Batman the Dark Knight. It was just called like gangsters and clowns.
No.
But I agree with that.
Yeah. Reminds me, I actually recently watched a video essay on one scene from The Dark Knight, the one where like Joker's first introduction when he like crashes the mobster's party.
I love that scene so much.
Yeah, and it goes over how like well it does introducing the Joker as a character. Every line of dialogue, it sort of foreshadows like what's going to happen later or like who this character is.
That Heath Ledger's Joker has gone down in history already.
Yeah. Even if he didn't die, it would still be seen as one of the greatest performances of all time.
It's just the fact that you can, you believed him.
Yeah.
You believed him. And then we get Jared Leto Joker.
I'm hoping that the Joaquin Phoenix one's good.
I think it's going to be another good one.
One thing in particular about the Heath Ledger's Joker was his response to when somebody calls him crazy. And like normally with like the Cesar Romero or Jack Nicholson Joker, they would like revel in it, like, yes, I'm crazy, but he says I'm not crazy. No, I'm not. Like he thinks he's the only sane person in Gotham.
That's what I like. You know, Bane. I wasn't hot on Bane when I first started watching that movie. And you were raised in the Bane boasting.
No, I was watching the Boondocks on Hulu, and there's one of the commercials that they showed. It was a Tarago commercial. One of the guys in there looked exactly like old CIA. Like he looked exactly like Aidan Gillen, I think is his name. He was in Game of Thrones, but he looked like his face looked exactly like it, except he had gray hair and wrinkles.
God.
I'm just waiting for like Bane to show up and be like, "Show me your body."
No, you were gonna say? What's Travago's slogan?
Like Hotel Travago, I think.
Yeah, like Bane mask, Batman cape, Hotel Travago. By the way, speaking of Boondocks, that show has aged so well.
Yeah, I watched the MLK episode on Hulu.
I watched 2 episodes. I watched the Garden Party, and I watched the Stink Meter episode.
Yeah, the Stink Meter episode is probably one of the like just for coining the term N-word moment.
But what I love so much is like it's a show that a lot of people would like to quote.
Yeah.
But
I heard that they're trying to bring it back for another season, and Aaron McGruder is going to be involved with it this time. And he wasn't involved in the 4th season, which turned out like crap from what I heard, which is a real shame because it was such a good series. Like the first 3 seasons are like some of the best. And
you know what I like though is that it's anime-esque in the right areas.
yeah. That's one thing I noticed with the like some of the crowd shots in the MLK episode. You have like some like black characters with like blonde hair, which is kind of a trope in Japanese anime.
Like where they do. I know what you're talking about.
Or it's like the Gyaru or Genguru.
Which is what actually inspired the Pokemon Jinx.
Yeah, that's sounds about right.
Not that we Americans would know.
She's for the purple people eater in this version.
God. Oh man. What I really fucking love is the character. When I was younger, I liked the kids more. Now that I'm older, I really like Robert Freeman, Granddad.
And the part in the MLK episode, like where he's talking about how Rosa Parks stole his thunder because he was sitting next to her on the bus, but everybody ignored him, and like when she said that she wasn't going to stand up. But he said he wasn't going to stand up first. But then she said, I will not move it. Oh, this lady is so brave and stunning. It's like, hey, I said I'm not going to move too.
I love where we have him and they're talking about, like, how he was fighting off the dogs and got hosed down. They reveal he fucking went back to get his raincoat. God.
And like, I think every other episode has like reference to like how BET, Black Entertainment Television, is like the worst thing ever. God. Like even like Martin Luther King says that at one point in his speech. He's like, and now I want to talk about Soul Plane.
God.
I still remember commercials for Soul playing for some reason. I think Kevin James was in that movie. I don't remember though.
Kevin James was in a lot of movies. I can't think of any good ones.
No, that's a good question. I think that there was like an episode, like one where he was like a boxer or something.
Oh,
And I didn't hear much about it, but I can assume that it was all right.
remember the movie Norbert?
Norbit with
Norbit?
Eddie Murphy, that
Yeah.
one.
I vividly remember watching that movie. Not the movie itself, just being in a crowded theater watching it back in the old Apollo when it was all fancy and, Art Deco. And I remember this really, really, really loud guy sitting next to me eating popcorn. But I realized that's my grandfather.
I remember watching The Nutty Professor.
I like Nutty Professor too. I'll fight over that movie. Eddie Murphy's a great actor when he was young, when he got his mojo.
Yeah. Has he been anything recently?
No, I like them. I think that he just retired
Okay.
after Pluto Nash.
I know that I watched. I don't know if it was on Netflix. I think it might have been on Netflix. Was his 1970s or 1980s stand-up special?
Oh man, the Red Jacket one.
Yeah, that's still a classic.
You know what my favorite thing he did was Chicago Nights. Have you seen that movie?
No.
He plays they run an illegal club. It's got it's got a lot of great black actors and there. Red Fox is in there. There is this moment where him and the madam of the whorehouse get into a fight. My favorite part is apparently, I don't remember her name. She was a gospel singer and very, very religious type. And she said, "I'll steal your fucking face."
And talking about Red Skeleton, that always makes me think of whenever I hear his name was the YouTube poop of King of the Hill, where they like take the footage from this Looney Tunes episode, and like they show the Red Skeleton. The joke is like, well, no, like first you see a skeleton in the original shorts. Like first you see a skeleton come out of the closet. He's like, "I'm a skeleton," and then a red skeleton comes out. He's like, "Red Skeleton." But then when Durham Rocker Z did his King of the Hill Halloween YouTube poop, then it was like they inserted Stink Meaner in his voice, where he's like, "What's good?" And,
I love all the voices on there. By the way, the version I watched of episode 1 was uncensored. Granddad Dick just caught me off guard.
Yeah, I should buy the DVDs because when I was watching on Hulu, they had it in the 4:3 ratio, but the DVDs preserve the 16:9 widescreen ratio, and also I guess it's uncensored too. So
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I also really like the character of Uncle Ruckus.
oh yeah, it's such a unique character that works so well in that situation.
And you wouldn't think it'd work well.
I remember they were trying to make like a live action Uncle Ruckus movie, but they didn't. But they weren't able to raise the funds.
Ooh, would you mind if it would have been good?
It looked. I don't know if it would. I mean, like Aaron Magruder did do like a live action. He did Black Jesus, the movie. So I think that was actually a series on Adult Swim. I remember. So like, and
I
that
like
got.
how Adult Swim has two kinds of shows: extremely good, well-crafted entertainment, and Xavier, Runaway Angel.
Renegade, yeah,
Renegade.
and Mr. Pickles. Everybody hates that.
Oh fuck.
People seem to like. I remember people were like on the co-board at least. They were praising Xavier Renegade Angel, saying it's the better version of Rick and Morty. I don't know how much of that was facetious though.
How much crack have those guys been smoking? Have you ever heard of Crackhead Craigslist? It's a subreddit. There was a person who was selling a strap-on saying, "I didn't like how it fit. I washed it real good," or stuff like, "Hey, I got an iPhone 6 Plus. Oh yeah, you need to unlock it. $45."
Yeah, the Craigslist has been boring ever since they closed the personal section.
My personal favorite, it's obviously a really fake Louis Vuitton bag. Like it's paper cup and there's a crack pipe right above it in the photo frame.
And speaking of Adult Swim, I really like how, because I was reading about the MLK episode and how they actually fought to keep it on air because they were getting complaints from, I think it was Al Roker specifically, or no, Al Sharpton. Sorry, that famous preacher guy.
Yeah,
and he was like saying, "No, I'm going to sue you if you don't do that." And they said, "No, well, this this is completely respectful towards MLK. They make him, they present him as respectfully as his estate would want him, and we're not gonna like bow to you guys. And I think that's I really am like glad that they did that, because like nowadays you don't see that very often.
Oh, they'll throw creators to the wolves.
Yeah, and if they do defend them, it's for often the wrong reasons, for like money, or not even remotely because they believe in the product.
Adult Swim seems good about respecting creators, I think.
Look at Samurai Jack. That wouldn't have gotten a 5th season if they didn't respect Genndy Tartakovsky.
Genndy Tartakovsky is an amazing name.
Yeah, nobody can pronounce it right, though. Yeah. That's kind of the problem with my name. I think it's like 40% of people I meet, they get it right the first time.
If someone goes to 39, you have to destroy them.
But I'm also speaking to Genndy I pronounce it wrong too. Genndy Tartakovsky. He's releasing Primal, which that looks really good. I saw a clip of it recently. It's one where like the caveman's like fighting against like a T-Rex. She's protecting her babies, and then like these 2 Allosauruses come out of the muck, and he like fights them.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would like to do, by the way? I had my own idea for something I'd like to do for a Netflix show. Mm-hmm. My pitch is they find an Australopithecus living in California. And it's them, and it's, them trying to go, like, as you can see, it's an intelligent animal. And it's just, like, fucking making fun of him, It's on its own, it's surfing the internet. It's downloading illegal monkey porn while they're talking. Just, Australopitheci things.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Is that the subreddit he's going through? Just Australopitheci things?
Yeah. There's 2 posters. It's him and his uncle who lives in Burbank.
Uh-huh. What else were we going to talk about?
I want to talk about Spider-Man Reign.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man. Fucking depressing. Dark Knight ripoff. Imagine Spider-Man, the most youthful, charismatic, personality-filled superhero, is a wreck of a man who possibly sleeps with a corpse in his house, gets his ass kicked, loses his job because he's colorblind, and you get to see John Jonah Jameson as an even older man get the shit kicked out of him by superhero white supremacists. Not good.
Mm-hmm.
Not good at all. But I will say one thing I do kind of like is the art style. Like, how they do the sort of like they make Spider-Man look like Rip Van Winkle in the best way. I'm going to read the other 3 issues because I actually couldn't make it through because it was depressing and edgy in the wrong ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was that under a different imprint than the main line?
I think it was Marvel, actually.
Okay.
Because the first page is 70 years of Marvel. Look at all the classic, brightly colored superheroes. And you cut to this burning miracle ground of horribleness.
Mm-hmm. I cream pied MJ and now she's dead. If it opened up with that line, it would make it 100 times better.
My webs is not my greatest power. My spider semen is.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if Spider-Man releases giant spermoids like real spiders do. Mm-hmm. Like it'd be the size of like a watermelon.
I never thought my white sticky fluid could be used for evil. It was the wrong kind, it turns out.
Oh my god, you gave me a horrible idea. Fisting somebody. No!
Wasn't there isn't there a run where he gets stingers in his wrists?
I think he does.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine him trying to call Mysterio at 4 in the morning. Hey, Mysterio, what's that web melting gas you have? I don't want to tell you. I'll get you out of jail, man.
It makes me think of, because with the 1960s Spider-Man, how different of a character he is than anything he's been in the movies. Because he starts out really selfish and conceited, and it comes across just a tiny bit in the Raimi films, at least, and I guess a little bit more in the Amazing Spider-Man. Except it's a very specific kind of tone that it's completely different from the skate punk guy and in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's the sort of first word that comes to my mind is incel. I want to try and avoid.
God.
He's just the line someday I'll show them and they'll be sorry. Sob. Where it's and that sort of doesn't go away immediately. And one thing I like is that how he he goes one step further, like than just being like the wrestling star, and how like he actually goes on like the Ed Sullivan show and like performs for money, and like even has an agent when he starts out.
What the fuck happened to that agent?
Well, he says like I remember like at the point where like J. Jonah Jameson like starts like writing bad articles about Spider-Man, his agent dumps him because everybody thinks he's a menace.
God.
And then just runs away with the money, I guess. And
Imagine if they did a comic where that guy comes back, like, "Hey, Spidey Man."
like if they did it nowadays, I could see it being like Spider-Man does like it becomes like a viral video sensation.
They kind of did that with MCU Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah, because they have him on YouTube, and now he's a YouTube.
Yeah, he's not filming his own stuff though.
Oh, true.
But yeah,
That's why he gets the spider drone.
Yeah, but also even after like he becomes like a superhero and starts fighting bad guys, he's still like a really annoying guy. Like he tries to break, like first issue, he tries to break into the Fantastic Four headquarters and show off to them. He fights all of them and expects to be hired by them on the spot.
What the fuck? You broke into our house and beat the shit out of us.
Eh.
You know how in Spider-Man PS4 you can take selfies? Mm-hmm. I have a selfie of Spider-Man with the dead Miles Morales' father, and I put a selfie of little Spider-Man next to him.
Yeah, but that's one thing that like the fame part of superheroes. That's something that actually Japanese superhero comics are getting, where it's like stuff like My Hero Academia or Tiger and Bunny. Like the superheroes are all like celebrities, and they're like.
Is Tiger and Bunny good?
I've heard that it's really good. It's apparently like the #1 anime in Japan, at least. It's like in like top 100 throughout like history. It's like the #1 most popular.
Oh, I might need to check it out because the Japanese have a discerning taste.
Mm-hmm. I know that ER has also praised it over Deadpool. I think he says it does superhero satire better than Deadpool, which I'll have to see because I think it's on Netflix still, so I'll have to check it out.
By the way, do you know what I always wondered in superhero universes? Do superheroes have to copyright their appearance?
Like that would be a neat thing to explore at least, especially now that in the next 10 years, Spider-Man or Superman, Batman's copyrights will be up for like public domain.
Can you imagine fucking like some guy like, oh yeah, I got a 3D printer, I'll be selling Iron Man masks. Fucking Tony Stark blows up his house.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of a thing in Spider-Man: Homecoming with all the guys like the robbers wearing superhero masks.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine Tony Stark just like making those, sell these, give these to the little kids whose houses we blow up. Mm-hmm. You know what I like more about the MCU than the DCEU? Mm-hmm. Is that in the DC, remember all that shit that happens in Zod where they have blowing up buildings? Marvel goes, yeah, we had to fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. clean that up. Mm-hmm. You ain't hear about shit in that in the DCEU.
I mean, I haven't seen Batman versus Superman, so
it's one line.
Oh.
It got bad. And they show the opening is Bruce Wayne shields the kid from rubble with his martyr powers. Mm-hmm. Bat martyr.
Wouldn't it be great if, like, just a big slab of rubble crushed them both, and then the rest of the movie is about Nightwing?
Oh my god. You know what it should be? Alfred becomes Batman.
Oh.
And that's why they have a power suit, so he's able to fight fight Superman one-on-one. Uh-huh. There was a Marvel comic where they reveal Bruce Wayne as Spider-Man's uncle. It's a Spider-Man Batman comics.
Oh, okay.
Also, in the Marvel the Avengers meet the Justice League, apparently New York City is across the street from Metropolis, which is across the lake from Gotham. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see like comics try to map out the geography of where like Metropolis is in the rest of the world, or Gotham City.
Gotham City's a Midwestern city. It would be on one of the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Same thing with actually the Grand Theft Auto games is something I'd like to see explored.
I wouldn't see a combined universe of all these cities.
Well, that would be a mess.
What the fuck? Fuck! Imagine where Gotham and fucking San Andreas meet.
I think there was like a fan theory that in the GTA, like it's like a post-apocalyptic Earth where like there's been like tectonic shifts and everything, and like which is why like all these cities are like islands out in the middle of the ocean.
I take only one thing as lore in GTA is that it's in the same universe as Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
because there's actually you can see a book written by
Jack Marston.
Jack Marston, called Red Redemption or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much confirmed at
Good.
that point.
And now I hope that Rockstar slowly builds a video game universe where, like, they have an alien kidnap John Marston and Arthur Morgan, and they have to. I want to see fucking Micah Bell meet Trevor, and then he cut the Trevor cutting his heart out with. God.
Well, I'd like to see a crossover is after Arthur Morgan dies, he wakes up and he's in like the middle of Hyrule Field in Breath of the Wild. And he gets isekai'd into Hyrule.
Oh my fucking god. He would no. Do you know what I'd like to see him do in Hyrule? I want to see him fucking do Deadeye.
Yeah, like bokoblins, and then on their horseback, and he just.
The Guardian. He's fucking shoots
yeah,
all the
that's
legs
right.
off a Guardian. Now I want a Zelda game with guns now.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. The Master Sword meet. Oh my! It's the Goron weapon. The Master Cannon. The Goron. Man, that'd be fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Did you know in Ocarina of Time, the Goron are apparently the same height as Kid Link? Or some really short height compared to most humans.
Okay.
I got Hyrule Warriors the other day. I finally got to see Linkle.
Uh-huh.
And she's actually become my main character because she's actually kind of overpowered. Because she can fucking go like gun fu on people.
But yeah, with Rockstar, whenever Rockstar gets brought up, I always say, no, I just don't have faith for them anymore.
God.
Like, the only thing that would make me excited for GTA 6 would be if they announced that they were throwing out the character engine, or the thing that makes, the movements, the Euphoria physics engine, which makes your character control like they're moving through quicksand. Like, if they made it, like, say, we're just gonna, like, throw that out and make it, like, Saints Row, where it's just like you can control your character completely fluidly, physics be damned, or throwing out realism. If they did like a spin-off where it was like more cartoony and they just said fuck realism, then I would be excited for that.
It should be the movies that Michael watches. And so, but they're based on the other events of the games, like 8 Ball and the guy from Free when they were fucking like robbing a triad or something.
Mm-hmm. Like, I will say that Saints Row 4, I don't like it as much as 3. 3, in my opinion, is probably the best. Like, I don't think that Saints Row 2, at least on my computer, it runs like shit, so I'm not able to judge it fairly. But if GTA decided to go in a more silly route, than what they've been doing, then I'd be okay with that.
You know what I really like? Roguelikes. Have you ever heard of the game Angband or Angband?
No.
It is a roguelike that is fucking 40 years old. Or some insanely fucking old age. I'm playing on a thing called Angband Live where it's actually your computer runs it so you can play and talk to other people. So I'm playing it and this guy said, and I say, wow, you know a lot about this guy. I've been playing it for 20 years, been modifying it for 15. Like, oh. Yeah, you play the ring race? I invented the ring race.
You know what game has been making a comeback recently? Minecraft.
I know. I wish I liked Minecraft.
No, I'm surprised because, I was going to say Dwarf Fortress is kind of the same. It's not really the same, though. It's more strategic based.
Dwarf Fortress is more like controlling a bunch of manic depressive alcoholics trying to build a fortress and not get anally raped by animals.
Yeah. They're only similar in the sense that you can theoretically do anything, or you have more freedom.
But one cool thing is that you can export Dwarf Fortress world maps into Minecraft.
Really?
Yeah, there's a mod for that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
I met the person who made that mod, and every fucking single mod I use, she fucking made, and it's annoying me at this point.
But I saw somebody post a screenshot of I think it was a Minecraft alpha where they were. Mojang at the time was experimenting with new character models. You ever seen the Frog Girl?
No.
Because there was they were trying out new character models. One was this sort of chibi anime looking character model of a girl wearing a frog hat, and they scrapped that. And they one thing that I always think of when I see that is the Best Gamers review of Minecraft Alpha, or no, the gold version. 1.0 when it was officially released, and Rockcock64 reviewed that, and he was talking about how Minecraft doesn't really have an art style because it uses just programmer graphics, which is just placeholder stuff that you put in. And my counterpoint, I agree with him halfway because it's.
Do you consider ashy, like ones and zeros of colors and art style.
ASCII, yeah, like when it comes to Dwarf Fortress, I don't know. Even that, I would say it's not an art style, but when it comes to Minecraft, like the lack of art style sort of became its art style, which is kind of contradicting. And when I say it out loud,
It's a truism that makes sense.
yeah, like the culture around it sort of made it its own thing. From like, I guess
It's kind of like pixel art in a weird way.
like it's not retro graphics though. Like, I don't know if Minecraft has ever, or if Mojang has ever claimed that Minecraft is a retro styled game, because that's not true. You look at like 2D like retro game, like indie retro games that do it right, like Cave Story, which it does like take 2D like games from like that era of the 80s and 90s and push it to its like limit with modern technology, and it looks great, but that's not what Minecraft is.
Minecraft is just the programmer. It's
Yeah, like the one argument I can agree with is probably, and I don't know how demanding the game is on a system, but like if you wanted to like customize it and push it to its limits with like mods, or like, because like with Minecraft you build a huge, like each world is like huge, and I guess that limited art style helps make it run smoother. That's the only argument I can agree with.
It's interesting. Minecraft and Dwarf Fortress are like sisters that have never really gotten talking.
Yeah, with Minecraft it's like quantity over quality is what I would say when it comes to art.
I like Dwarf Fortress is the ASCII graphics. Not a lot of people like it.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that it and Minecraft are both sort of utilitarian?
Very. But it's a beautiful utilitarian. There is a really cool moment. I've been playing our Dwarf Fortress for about 5-6 years maybe. I recently decided to play without graphics and go back to ASCII. And once you can read the ASCII, it's amazing.
It's like the Matrix.
I know, it's like, holy fucking shit, that's a goblin, that's a goblin. Oh, I'm dead. Mm-hmm. And I like how Minecraft can be used for storytelling in some way, how people used to do with animations.
And like
the good ones.
Those kinds of animations.
Dwarf Fortress has some real fucking good storytelling potential.
And a good point with Dwarf Fortress is that it's really, really hard to make porn in ASCII.
But you can make porn in text descriptions. There is a Succubus Fortress mod.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the Succubus are issued are fucking lazy as sin because, Also, interesting fact, Dwarf Fortress has fucking racial genetics. Like, different civilizations have different ethnicities. And they say they will be modding in racism soon enough. So imagine, you fucking gold hair fucking elves, they'll fucking genocide you. God. And remember, Dwarf Fortress is made by 1.5 guys. One guy pitches an idea and the other guy does it. Think of that for a moment.
Yeah. I guess we can start talking about we can start shilling for our good friends over at SWC.
I'm going to say what I said in Discord. I have never thrown money towards a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Pogo, Backstarter, whatever the fuck you call them. I tossed them $5 because I'm assuming to a debit card. But I decided for them $5. It's not much. I currently am without job. But I'm hoping, that $5 goes towards them and makes a pretty cool story. Because they got a fucking cool thing cooking.
Yeah, I really hope that word gets around for their comic. It doesn't seem like... I know that Thomas sent a message to Doug TenNapel, who's former Comicsgate. I don't know if I've brought him up before. He did Earthworm Jim. That guy.
Oh, shit.
He actually just recently had funding successful for his Earthworm Jim comic, and he's done a bunch of comics in the past. But Thomas reached out to him. Doug got back to him and said, he doesn't look like you know what you're doing. It's better to let this crash and burn. And it seems like really counterintuitive to like somebody who wants to represent indie creators.
Here's what you do. Take that as a fucking challenge.
Yeah,
look them in the eyes and go, fuck you.
Yeah, that's what Thomas said. That's like the best take he could take away from.
Respectfully tell him fuck you. Tell him I disagree with your opinion and I'll take that as a
It's like,
challenge.
yeah, I'll show you. That's sort of the
That's how
mindset.
you do it.
Yeah.
Like an anime protagonist leaving the fight that they lost.
Mm-hmm. I almost want to like do, and I'll ask Thomas about this. Is me and you could do like a Monkey Bar Live fundraiser or something here in like the library, like that room. Like,
That'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, we could set up a camera and live stream it.
I'd have to fucking dress nice. I'd have to fucking come in there with my... I recently got my first ever suit jacket. It's a denim suit jacket. I'm gonna walk in there like, woo, fat guy style.
And we got to figure out what we're gonna do for like 6 hours. If we're gonna do it right.
Yeah, maybe we could.
Yeah, we could like read the scripts that they've put out so far. Like do a live reading. We could like and like get actual actors or something to like sort of act them out.
That'd be amazing. Before the angry mob burns the library down around us.
I just think about all the like colorful writing that Thomas does in his comics.
I still like the idea we should make it look like a scholarly essay. Where we go like, and you see here, this is actually a metaphor for the cultural appropriation of the Sanjanoia people of Eastern Cambodia. And I pull out a fake bong.
Yeah, but I really hope that they're able to get this funded. They're asking for $7,000, and like one of their stretch goals is 9,000 to get literally number 2 funded.
Yeah, I hope they make 9,000.
Yeah, and the $30,000 stretch goal is for getting it in print.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
And if that happens, then I'll have to buy one and donate it to the library.
That would be as a creator, that would be the greatest honor I could imagine, having my book in the library. I'd like to put it next to Pride and Prejudice.
No, I was actually on the SWC podcast. I called in while they were doing a stream, and I got to mention. I didn't say much because I mentioned to Thomas how like it's kind of a habit of mine to just let the other person talk and not interrupt. But yeah, I got to. He actually shouted out the Monkey Bar podcast, so we're official, as if we weren't already. Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, like I got to like butt in a little bit and say it was fun, like because they also had another guest on, and like considering like there were 4 of us, like I'm surprised I managed to say even one word, because I know that Thomas and his brother like talk over each other all the time.
I hate talking over people, but it's a bad habit I have because I can't fucking read when how you can read a voice and you can tell that there's pauses. I have issues with that. I fucking barge with my ideas, and I apologize if I do that.
I think they also mentioned that you were a dork when I brought up your name, but I think that they meant that like endearingly.
I'm okay at being a dork. I'd rather be a dork than a dipshit.
But yeah, like they also like when I mentioned your name, they just made sure to correct me, and they said like we're not talking about ya boy Zach, we're talking about the real Zach. And like I was saying, how because like we're talking about. When we say ya boy Zach, we're talking about Richard C. Meyer, who like refers to him as ya boy Zach. And I always said I always thought that was kind of confusing because like it doesn't make any sense why it would. And then like I think that Thomas mentioned this before, how like he uses some sort of like Disney Channel sort of thing, like hey, I'm one of the cool kids, But I was saying like, how it reminds me of how Andrew Dobson used the Tom Preston pseudonym or like pen name.
And so no one would hunt him down, burn down his house.
Yeah, that was a fun time. I was a little bit nervous because I think it was my first time.
I get nervous talking in the shitty webcomics Discord.
Yeah,
because I have the
Yeah, I try not to be a yes man, but like they seem to like me. Like I think that like one of my philosophies is that the surest way to destroy a man is by showering him with constant praise. That might have been said by someone else at one point in history, I'm sure. I can't remember who, though. So, like, whoever that quote is attributed to, I'm sorry. I'll, like, cite my sources if I get to it eventually.
Yeah, I've been working on things. Fucking quotes suck to try and find sources. Like, apparently Hannibal once said, according to a 1970s book, If I can't find a way, I'll make a way. And referring to pulling an elephant to everybody else. But that may have just been an Italian proverb.
There's one show that popped in my mind lately. I think it was it was Rugrats, and specifically it was All Grown Up, because I think that one of the episodes I watched on Oni Plays, whenever they bring up All Grown Up on Oni Plays, they always talk about how fucking terrible it is, and I'm inclined to agree with them. It could have been so much better, and like the one of the indicators of that is you look at like As Told by Ginger, like that's a really really good show. And it shows like that's probably one of the biggest things about As Told by Ginger is that it shows just how shitty All Grown Up really is, or how good it could have been.
I liked Rugrats. This is one of my darkest confessions. I used to be afraid of a theme song. It used to put me on edge when I was a kid.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like scary clown music if you think about it, like, especially if you put it off key.
Yeah. Oh man, I like Rugrats.
Yeah, it is a really good show, at least for the first season or so. Because I know that people say you got really bad after what was his name? I can't remember. But one of the three founding members, like the talented one, people say like he left for I think he went to work on The Simpsons. But yeah, after he left, it just turned into just kiddie garbage.
Kitty garbage, not on my Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but he was quoted as saying he wanted Rugrats to be like Seinfeld for kids, or like something really influential.
That's interesting.
And yeah, I could see if he worked on All Grown Up, then he could have turned it into something resembling As Told by Ginger. Because As Told by Ginger, I always go out of my way to praise it because it still holds up to this day as this really unique and really really well written show.
I've been trying to remember a show. It was on Disney Channel. It was the show of the Black family.
A Proud Family?
Proud Family. Fuck. I was thinking about that show recently.
Yeah, I never got into that.
I remember watching it as a kid because my sister really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was Kim Possible. That was the Disney one that I was into.
It's got fucking good theme, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It has a good theme. I know that the live-action TV movie was released earlier this year, I think.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. I think we talked about this last episode.
We did.
Yeah.
We're kind of like old men. Like, back in my day. And we eventually, we'll hit the same topics, but with less intensity each time.
Yeah, we're both boomers. Deal with it.
I heard a guy say, I'm a 21-year-old boomer, and I was about to go, fuck you, no you aren't.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're a year behind him.
I know. But, like, oh my god.
Oh, I was going to ask, regarding our comics, if you could get one artist to illustrate your comic, living or dead, who would it be?
Leonardo. I'm kidding. Honestly, imagine Leonardo da Vinci drawing Spider-Man.
I can see that.
Wow, that'd actually be a really good parody of the first cover, with him on there holding the guy. I would probably say, I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Mm-hmm. One that comes to mind would probably be Ditko. Steve Ditko, right? I forgot his first name. It slipped from my head.
Oh, yeah.
I really love the classic comic aesthetic, and that's probably one of my biggest downfalls as a creator, is I love the old style.
One thing that surprised me about the Spider-Man comics was that whenever they, like, occasionally if they'll zoom in on a crowd character, you can see that their eyes are, like, off-center. And, like there's some people who look really weird, some character models that look really weird. And, like, you don't expect it from a comic that's as high profile as Spider-Man. But then you realize that these were, like, pulp comics that were sold for, like, a dime back in the 60s. So, of course, they were going to be sloppy in some areas. So they had to do, like, every week, so...
Fun fact, my grandfather had the original appearances of the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and his fucking ex-wife burned them during an argument.
Oh.
She was fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, this is my favorite family fact about them. They ended up in the same mental asylum. But yeah, I really love the old aesthetic. I love how it was simple, but it had a complexity. It had class.
See, for my comic, I'd go in the opposite direction and say Yusuke Murata, the guy who did One Punch Man.
Oh, fuck.
You ever seen the cover he did for Spider-Man?
No.
Like he did a really really good looking cover for Spider-Man.
How do you-
Yuske.
Okay. Oh, wait, spell it like the guy from...
Yu Yu Hakusho, yeah.
Actually, I was going to say the guy from Persona 4.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Okay, I changed my answer. Honestly, you know what? I would say, depending on the comic, if it's my Skunk Rock and my parody comic, it would probably be Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
But if I had to do Orca, it would be Mike Mignola.
Oh yeah.
That or probably one of the guys. I want the team who did the Spider-Man animated series to do every panel of that.
Yeah, that show isn't as good as I remember it.
I
think.
know, but I really love the art style.
Yeah, like they made it. Well, one thing that I saw about it was I think another video essay I saw. I don't know if it was on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but no, it was for the DCAU, the Bruce Timm animated series. But they were talking about how X-Men, the original cartoon, like the characters are so detailed that it was hard for the animators to make them like move around dynamically. So when like the DCAU had like the simplified Bruce Timm models, they were able to make them like pose in more dynamic ways.
You remember Batman Brave and the Bold?
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite Batman show, probably. I like the Golden Age.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to it because it was coming right off of Justice League Unlimited, so it was hard for me to like accept the campy like superhero stuff right after something that's basically referenced Watchmen repeatedly.
Oh, God.
Like the question in Justice League Unlimited is basically Rorschach, especially there's a certain point where like he's like super obsessed with.
Imagine if they fucking brought Watchmen into the DCAU.
I mean, I'd be okay if they didn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Be gone! We've seen enough of you! Oh, man.
like I'd be okay with never seeing anything from Watchmen ever again.
Yes!
But now they have that HBO series that's coming out where like the cult of Rorschach is a bunch of white supremacists and everything. It's like,
I forgot. Every fucking character I like in Watchmen dies.
yeah.
I still can't believe a fucking Furnace kills Dr. Manhattan.
From
Watchmen.
Well, I mean, like when that, or are you joking?
No. I thought they got him in the furnace by using the cap. When he crawled in and turned it on.
Well, no, like he regenerates after that.
I'm a fucking retard. I apologize.
Okay.
It's been almost 5-6 years since I read Watchmen.
Okay. But but like I know the point you're talking about, where like the cat gets vaporized, but Dr. Manhattan reforms into like the giant who like breaks through the glass, and he's like, I've been able to reassemble myself once. Did you really think that you'd be able to kill me by doing the same thing over again?
I love villains who do that. Like, yes, Spider-Man, I will hang you. I will leave you stranded on the side of the Empire State Building. Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, one of the most iconic parts in Watchmen is where Ozymandias like reveals his plan like 30 minutes after he already did it.
God. You know, Ozymandias is really a great villain name. Are you familiar with the poem?
Like I know that they quote it at the end of one of the issues.
I just love that it's a fucking, the irony of naming yourself after the king of nothing.
It's like, look upon my works in despair. That's the quote.
And the irony is no one knew who he was. They only know him from one tablet. Well, I think I may be abusing the term irony.
It's ironic, don't you think? I don't know. There's nothing really ironic about that. I just said that off the cuff.
God.
I apologize. Like, you get to do it 100 times, I get to do it once.
I just realized I don't apologize much on a podcast, don't I? Do I?
I think so. I think that you're right.
It's interesting. Oh,
Like, one thing that I've that like one bit of advice that I remember getting was, I don't know if it was given to me, but it was like just in general was, instead of saying "I'm sorry," you should say "thank you." One reason is that people just love hearing "thank you." They eat that shit up.
Thank you.
It's actually a quote from Dirk Douglas. He was the artist for literally number one.
I'm picturing someone hitting a guy, killing him, and getting out of a car, and is crying. He says, "Thank you, small child," and he drives away.
I was like, instead of saying "I'm sorry for this," saying "thank you for understanding" is sort of the mindset behind that, I think.
Certainly.
Let's see, anything else?
Nothing comes to mind.
All right. How are you coming along with your comic?
I've taken a small break from comics. I have a new sort of thing I want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make supplements for Dungeons and Dragons because I'm that big a dork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said that you're able, like people are able to sell these to.
There's two websites.
Okay.
If you there's a thing called the OSRD and the SRD. I might be butchering these. Basically, if you do Dungeons and Dragons, they can't copyright the rules, nor can they copyright orcs and goblins.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to copy specific creatures or settings, you can't use, if you mention the goddess Lolith, they will hunt you down and kill you in front of a Colombian dictator. But if you go on their site, Dungeon Masters Guild, you can actually sell things using the pre-established setting. And because I am an unoriginal hack whore, I want to use the setting, but they really don't have much interesting shit. We've had fucking dark elves as edgy emos for 90, I don't know, not 90 years, but like for 30 years. I want to take I want to add new things to this menagerie. So if you do the DM's Guild, they get half. But you also get half, which is actually pretty fair, I think. Also, if you don't reference any of that shit, you can sell it for full price, but there's no, how do I put it? There's no pedigree to the setting.
Something just popped in my head when we were talking about Watchmen. It reminded me of this fan fiction that I wrote like years ago, probably a decade ago. It was like a 16 fan fiction, but with like
16?
Like the animated series.
Oh yeah.
I actually watched like some of a retrospective on it from the Alpha J show, who does like cartoon reviews. He's not all that interesting, but this one like is pretty in depth on the subject. Even goes into some of the making of, which I appreciate more than anything from these cartoon reviewers. So when they go into like the production aspect. But anyway, like this
Sorry.
no, it's fine. Zach was looking at his phone trying to cheat me.
I'm sorry.
Look up the answers.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was like a fan fiction that I wrote where like there's a mall shooting, like I'm shooting in the mall, and like it's done by this guy who is like this sort of superhumanly strong character, and like he gets stopped by this other like sort of superhuman character with the ability to like predict time happening in the future. And then like it sort of goes on from there, and like revealing that there are like these sort of superhero characters with like very specific powers, and so much of it I ripped off Watchmen at the time. Like you can tell which each character is supposed to be.
Did you have Rorschach?
Yeah, like I think that was like a lot of that was done with the shooter character.
God.
His speech patterns, like Dr. Manhattan's speech patterns are in the time stop, like the time guy, it's like that. I was thinking like if I was ever to do an Indiegogo campaign for my comic, that would be like probably the highest tier as I release that to the public.
You release it to the public, but in the form of a one act play.
Yeah, I don't know if like legally though for like fan fiction, if that would like I'd have to look into that.
You're not selling it; you're just releasing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a moral gray. It's a bit of a legal gray area when it
Change all
comes
the
to
names, make it like 50 Shades of Grey.
I could do that.
You become the next selling mommy porn.
Yeah. The problem is that it's unfinished, but I think that if it's just like for a bonus thing, then I'd be okay with releasing it.
I would even look up the fucking Evangelion erotica I wrote when I was 13 and pitch it out there. Imagine being a 13-year-old who has no concept of sex, trying to write erotica. Wow, these lemons are good. I should copy it. Yes, I am a dork.
But yeah, like I'm still working on my comic. I just finished the first draft of, or like the current. It's probably like the sixth draft now with my comic. But like a lot of it, I started from scratch. So
You know what Richard told me once? Every draft you do is an alternate universe. Think of it like that. It's the sixth reality of the Yesterday Kids.
Yeah, but I've got the script for that done. I'm probably gonna do the thumbnails now. Still got commissions. I got your commission. Still doing that.
I apologize,
No,
man.
it's fine. I do have to like redraw a lot of the characters though. So like a lot of the poses I wasn't happy with to begin with though. But it's giving me a better. It was probably something I should have done from the beginning. Is drawing each character fully and then layering them on top of each other.
I do really like it. You've actually kind of helped impact the characters' personalities.
Yeah, one thing that I've been studying too is color theory. Just getting back to that because I think that I'm pretty okay with color right now, but I think that I could do better with brushes and painting and all that stuff with like digital stuff. Something I haven't had a lot of practice with. A lot of the stuff I do is cell shaded, so I want to try like more like painterly, I guess. I don't know what the right term is, but
Hey, feel free to...
yeah, like the watercolor brushes.
If you ever
getting the hang
want
of
to
those.
try that on the Orca Commission,
Oh yeah,
It's
probably
up
for
to you.
probably for a different project.
Yeah.
I like it's not really the like I want to get the Magnola part of it down.
it really looks awesome, dude.
Reminds me, I was going to ask you, does Orca wear pants?
Yes, he does. Super bright orange prison jumpsuit pants.
Okay, I'll make sure of that because like right now he just has yellow underwear, so I'll have to like fix that.
He has SpongeBob underwear.
These were white when I bought them.
God,
That's also a reference to SpongeBob.
I fucking love SpongeBob.
Oh yeah,
Back when it was good.
Well, I've been watching, or I've been like, there's a Facebook group called Every SpongeBob Frame in Order, where it's like they actually set up a bot to like periodically post like every like nearly every SpongeBob frame in order. I think it's like goes like every 2 frames they post like in order. So it's really entertaining to see like it get like it's. I think they just got through the first season, so it was really entertaining to see like whenever they got to each meme part,
Woo.
like Savage Patrick. Like that's actually like a lot of SpongeBob memes are actually taken from the first season, which is really interesting.
Hey, by the way, speaking of frame by frame, have you ever seen the in-between frames of Smash animations?
I think so. Yeah,
It's a bizarre hellscape that I adore.
I know. I've seen the Curry close-ups, where it's like the Ichigo faces.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Oh, do you know what my ultimate pick for Smash is? If somehow I was told I could make one DLC for Nintendo from a character on a Switch, I want. Here's my one. I want the fucking Pikmin boss from Pikmin 2, the Bulb. No, just make a fucking Bulborb in Smash. And here's its mechanic. Fucking, it can one-shot you, but it's weak if you jump on top. Just weird mechanics like that. Or, make a playable Monster Hunter monster. Fucking, you know what I want in there? I want the fucking Devil Ho in Smash. Devil Ho is a monster that will rape the shit out of your character because it can just walk into a hunt and murder you. And while you're crying, it's going to grab you by the back of your head and push you face down in the water. It's Deliverance, but a crocodile T-Rex pickle thing. Who's your ultimate Smash pick, if Nintendo could tell you?
Probably. I gotta think for a minute. Probably Sphinx.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's already a ton of sword characters, but
I was going to say Dante at first, actually.
oh, that's a good one. I mean, I can imagine all the featuring Dante memes to come out of that.
But you know what they'd have to do? They'd have to make a Devil May Cry free Dante so he gets the gauntlets. He can get the fucking guitar that summons bats and lightning.
I thought you were gonna say the DMC Dante. There would be a riot.
There would not just be a riot. They would burn down every building owned by Nintendo. I'd be the one throwing the torch. There's a fucking Devil May Cry DMC comic that is apparently the worst thing I've ever read. There's a part. There is a fucking frame out of fucking sequence. they have a character say the end of a conversation, then the beginning 2 parts. Also, it's a DC comic, if I remember correctly.
Well, that explains it. Well, I guess we've run out of things to talk about.
I'm sorry, man.
I'd be okay with ending early if you are.
Yeah.
One last quick shout out to SWC, Randisha Diaz and Ray Porce, their comic Inevitably Doomed. I keep wanting to say literally because I guess
It's
I'm
literally doomed for crossover.
literally inevitably doomed. Their comic. I really hope that they get funded, and with any luck, they will. And so, therefore, in closing, I have been Tony,
I've been Zach.
and this has been the Monkey Bar.